All right, we are live. Hi, Facebook. Hi, Zoom. Welcome, welcome, everybody. So great to be here. Okay, I'm just getting Instagram all queued up. Instagram's always the troublemaker. All right, everybody, we are live everywhere. Welcome to another Wellness Wednesday. We are coming fast and furious to the end of the year. And here we are wrapping up 2020, the year of surviving as we shift into the year of thriving. And so that's just something I've really been focusing on, spending my attention on, and thinking, how can I best serve you as we're moving into this next stage of our well-being? So before we go any further, let me introduce myself. My name is Lauren Baptiste, and I'm an executive wellness coach, international speaker, and corporate well-being consultant. My firm, Acheloa Wellness, works with empowered, ambitious, hardworking, kick-ass individuals just like you so that you can thrive. And so 2020 has definitely affected us, right? There's no way it has not had some effect on you. For some, they're experiencing the better. For some, they're experiencing something different. Or for some, maybe they're experiencing a really hard time. And so as we're here today, it's an opportunity for us to think about what's next. And I know in this moment of things that may feel chaotic, overwhelming, stressful, we think about the right now and the what is, but I want to take a moment to set an intention for next year, because we can still continue to just kind of work through day by day, week by week, month by month. But the real opportunity here is to change for the better so that you can really take the reins of the situation that you have and see how you can make that even better. So welcome everybody. Awesome to see you, Yasmin and Parade. And then I even see Be Brilliant Styling. And then also welcome, I get so many messages from the others out there, those that watch on the replay. Hello, Amy. Hello, Akiko. Hello, Dana. Hello, everybody out there. I get so many messages that like, I hear you, but I can't join live. Even hello, Cindy, and hello, Charlene. So hopefully I'm sending my hellos, and if I missed you, I'm so sorry. But let me know and I will message you next week, or I'll give you a shout out next week. But all right, let's get into this, because we have a lot of work to do to turn this upcoming year into the year of thriving. So here's what I want everybody to do. If you have a moment, right? And if you're watching this on the replay, the best part is you can just pause this and grab what you need and come back. But if you don't, or if you're here with me live, what I'll invite you to is to grab a piece of paper. Grab a piece of paper, maybe open up a new Word document if you're on your computer, if on your phone, but don't shift away if you're on your phone to like switching to your notepad, because then you're going to lose me here. And I want to take you on a little bit of a journey, because the first thing to do when we're thinking about moving forward is to appreciate the now. So what I would love you to do is to take a moment and write down some bullet points of things that went well for you, right? And for some of us, right, everyone's talking about, I can't wait for this year to be over. Can it be over yet? Like 2021 is going to be better. Yes, it can be, but we also need to appreciate what was. So even if we had shelter over our head, if we had, we're able to have access to food and clean water, right? Those are the basic necessities that I know a lot of us, even in this pandemic, didn't have full access to. So take a moment, and even if you say, I have nothing to be grateful for, take a moment and see what went well this year because of this shift in this new year. Maybe you got more opportunity to meditate. Maybe you were able to start a gym routine. Maybe by not commuting, you were able to save 20 minutes a day and do something else. So take a moment to just bullet point some of those things as you think about your journey forward. So I'll just pause for a moment for you to reflect, to write that down, to think about it for you. Awesome. Let's do another like 30 seconds or so. Were there any trainings you did? Were there any classes or workshops that you participated in? Was there something new that you cooked or tried? What shifted? Even, I was talking to some women and they're like, wow, my menstrual cycle actually regulated. or my bowel movements regulated, right? This sounds like small things, but that's huge in the health journey of saying, okay, can your body find more normalcy or a state of calm? All right, so now that we know, or we at least found something to be grateful for in 2020, I really want you to hang on to that, because there's this mantra that everybody is sharing is I can't wait for this year to be over. And there's this opportunity for 2021. And yes, that's absolutely true. But I also want to remind you that a lot of people were saying that about 2019 into 2020. I can't wait for this year to be over, bring on 2020, new decade, new year, and here we are. So let's try to see how can we continue to frame this in the positive of something good may have happened, right? Even if it was something that felt smaller compared to prior years, but here's an opportunity to take it further. And so what I want you to do is, and that next, space down a couple rows in your journal, on your piece of paper, on your Word document, and I want you to write down these 5 things. I want you to write down self, health, spirit, spirituality, faith, career, which could be work, finances, anything somewhere in that realm. And then the last one, I'm like, where am I? Self-health, and relationships. So we have 5. So if you're just joining, hey, Charlene, there you are. So we have self, health, spirit, work, and relationships. So usually these 5 things make up our well-being. So when we're not feeling well in our full selves, it's usually because something here is feeling off. We're not able to fully tap into ourselves. So I want you to take a moment and check into those 5 things. And then we're going to start with an intention here. And what we're doing here is really embodying what's possible so that we can feel better, so that we could feel less anxious, so that we can step into this new year feeling ready. And so I speak to a lot of clients, and one thing about how to feel better, if I'm not feeling well and I want to feel better, an opportunity to do that is to start to make some small change. The other big thing that I keep hearing this year is how tired I am, or I want to feel less tired. How can I do that? Well, it takes a small change. And that's what the opportunity herein lies. So maybe for the ones who are telling me I'm not sleeping, then maybe there's a focus on self and health. For those that are dealing with caretaking parents or younger ones, maybe the focus here is relationships and self. Right? Notice how self always plays into this, because self is part of the equation. You are part of the equation. So as you're thinking about your survival strategy, right? Or your, let's call it like your thriving strategy for 2021, it's really important to think of, well, where should my focus be, or where can my focus be? And what's been challenging me in 2020 so that I can think about how to improve it in 2021. And this could take a long time, right? So we're going through this so fast. We're fast forwarding through this of, okay, what's our focus? What are we doing? Where do we go from here? And now that maybe we're starting to feel into one of those areas that need the most attention, maybe it's self, maybe it's my health. Maybe in all of this, I have everything I need, but I'm still not happy. Maybe my faith is not connected. I'm not feeling the energy from that. Or maybe my career, right? A lot of us are hardworking, kick-ass, ambitious, just how I started this. And what if I'm not feeling it in my career? What if I was supposed to get that promotion and I was denied? What if I didn't get a raise this year, right? We can start to feel the effects of that, but this is an opportunity to shift. So I want you to take a moment on your piece of paper. You have all of these written down now. And I want you to put either a big circle or a big star, or, highlight which area out of these 5 demands the most of your attention. And by demands, I mean is grabbing at you and shaking at you like, please give me some attention. I need some help right now in order for you to step out, in order for you to stress less, in order for you to feel better, in order to feel less tired. Put that big old circle around it. And I'm curious, what is that for you? And feel free to put that in the chat and in the replay. And even I'm always curious. And the beautiful thing is there's no right or wrong answer. The answer is what serves you most. So if you feel brave enough and you want to share, I'd love to hear, but we'll keep moving. And this is just something to reflect on of like which area has that importance so that you can shift into this next year and thrive. And so here's what I want to do. I'm sure some of us have heard of SMART goals, maybe some of us haven't, but what I want to do is at least draw out what a SMART goal is. And we're not going to dive into it today, but we're going to take that SMART goal and shift it into next week. We're going to define what they are. We're going to think about them. And so we all have a little bit of homework if we're here listening, either live or on the replay. And what we're going to do is really think about how can we create SMART goals based on that area of my life that I circled. And if you circled all 5, I really invite you to focus on one. Because if we can focus on one area of our life, usually the biggest challenge, the biggest thing that's creating stress in our life, the other things will start to get better too. So please see if you can focus on one for right now. And we could always reassess it, right? This isn't a forever commitment to this one thing. It's a few months. And then you could always look at this at the end of Q1, right? At the end of March and say, okay, is that still the biggest challenge, the biggest thing in my life? No, okay, then I can shift. Or yes, let me keep going because I'm noticing things are getting better, right? So that's how it works, but let's keep on rolling. Okay, and I'm seeing some feedback in chats from private chats that they're seeing that work is a challenge. And then I'm seeing on some of the other medias that they're saying health. And then, yeah, there's really a mix here. So it's just beautiful to see. And it's okay that there's a mix because again, it's perfect for you. Okay, so here we are. We're going into 2021 SMART and we're feeling smarter. And what are SMART goals, right? Really quickly, it stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. And so let's go into each of those and dive in a bit because when we create goals that are SMART, then we're setting ourselves up for the best opportunity for success. So that first letter in SMART, S, specific. So what we want to create are very well-defined, clear goals. I don't want anything that feels ambiguous. I don't want to create anything that feels vague, right? Like, I'm going to exercise more. That's great, but let's get specific about it. Tell me what kind of exercise, how many days a week, for how long are you going to exercise, right? You notice the difference there? Because if you tell me I'm going to exercise 2 times a week, that's great. But if you meant in your head that you wanted to do 6 or 7, you're going to be disillusioned or you're going to be upset, right? When you don't hit your mark. So it's important to have a specific goal because then it's easier to track how am I measuring against that. And that's where we move into measurable, M, the second letter. The idea of measuring is not to make ourselves feel bad when we don't do it, but it's to give ourselves accountability. So when I'm measuring against something, okay, in a week, I hope to work out 4 times. Okay, then how do I fit that? How do I measure up at the end of the week? Did I hit that? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, the question is, well, then is it that important to you? Right? And then if I ask myself that every week or question, and really just analyze, how did I measure up? Maybe I realize, okay, my goal was 4 times, but with my work schedule, actually, that's not going to work for me. I can only work out 3 times a week. Okay, that's great. So then set it up for success. And that's why we want to measure it. Because if I just say something like exercise more, it might not have the efficacy or the gusto that you want it to have. So that's something that will be really helpful. 3, the letter A is achievable. I want you to be able to achieve this, right? I don't want you to come into the goals for the new year and say, okay, I'm going to lose 50 pounds or I'm going to drop, X amount of like sizes. Or what I want you to do is do something that feels realistic, something that you can grasp, right? Often when I'm working with clients who are also managing weight loss in their process of evolution, What I'll say is, let's do 1 pound at a time. Let's focus on that first pound, because then the next 20 or the next however many that are in front of us won't feel as hard when we just pick off one at a time. And here it's really important that it feels achievable, because if you set yourself up with a goal that's so lofty amid a really stressful time, then we're moving away, or we're moving away from our goal of thriving, and then we're just moving back into either survival mode or even just like giving up altogether. So I don't want that. I want your goals to inspire you so that you can wake up each morning and feel excited for what's ahead. So, all right, we got specific, measurable, achievable, realistic. Okay, for a realistic goal, we want it to be within reach, similar to achievable, right? That it's attainable, but realistic is truly within reach, that it's relevant to your purpose. So, what I also want you to think about, right? So, I'm going into this idea of health and exercise as if that were my SMART goal. But what if your goal is, I'm going to get promoted next year? Well, here's the thing that's challenging about that is that I don't always have control over that, right? In a downturn financial market, there's likely less of an opportunity for a promotion. And that's just being real. But what is real is I can learn something new every day. I can show up and bring compassion to my colleagues and listen better, and I can express appreciations more with my members of my team, right? Notice how that becomes more realistic because it's in your control versus waiting for something like a promotion. But notice, if you do all of the little things, that promotion is more likely to happen. So realistic is a really important one, because I want you to make sure it's something that's relevant to what's important to you, but truly within reach. And that's something that you can bring closer towards because of your own action. And here's one thing for those that are sitting there hoping for a promotion, or maybe feeling like they didn't experience what they hoped for in this 2020 year. Don't give up. Keep showing up, right? Because it's not about the promotion per se, right? Of course, there's usually a title bump and a raise that comes with that promotion. But if you love what you do, or if it brings you joy, showing up and doing that every single day should be enough to fill you for a little bit longer. So I want to encourage that for you if you're feeling like that's something that you're bumping up against, that you're feeling like, some of these things may feel out of your control. And the last letter, as we wrap up our SMART goals, is T for timely. We want to make sure that it's clear, that it's defined, that it's on this timeline, right? So if your goal, if let's say we're talking about relationships and with my partner, and this one can also feel like, oh, this could be really hard because it takes two of us to tango, right? But here, if I think of, okay, well, if I want a closer relationship with my partner, then maybe the timely thing, or the timely goal, is that I'm going to meet with them. We're going to have a date night once a month, right? So that means getting coverage for the kids. Maybe that means like asking grandparents to come over, or maybe that means, who knows what that means, but it's like really setting up a timeline to make that achievable and figure out what cadence is appropriate for which goal, right? I might not be able to go on a weekly date night right now in this time, but maybe I can try to figure out how to make a monthly one happen. Or maybe I can figure out ways to be outside and find time with loved ones. And so it doesn't just have to be with a partner. It could be, bringing closer relationship to your friends, have a closer relationship with kids or your parents, or however that might be. But the important thing here is to be timely about it, to be really fixed on how much in what period of time. And the idea here is to create a little bit of urgency, because if I just say, I'm going to spend more time with my family, again, it feels a little vague. So I want to create that sense of urgency where you're excited to do it, where you have momentum to plan it. Even a month goes by very quickly, right? We've been through COVID now for a long time, and it can go very fast. So that's the opportunity there. So specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. SMART goals. Okay. So as we're wrapping up, we're thinking about our intention for this upcoming year. We've defined the idea of the 5 areas of our life that will make us feel more that will either allow for our health or that will take away from our health. So now that we know what those are, now we can start to think about smart goals that will help us get there. So we're going to meet next week and we're going to talk about how we can thrive. But I'm really excited to share with this group that starting in 2021, I'm hosting a group program where we're focusing on thriving in 2021 because that's the name of it. It's called Thrive 2021. And what we'll be doing is focusing on small, actionable, specific, realistic, timely goals that we can dive into that are going to help us feel great. I'm really excited about this program. We've done this in the past pre-COVID and it's been incredible, but now there's going to be extra magic in there to make sure that regardless of the circumstance, we're able to work through what we're dealing with right now. So working from home, just feeling more excited, how to feel less anxious or lonely, how to step into your greatest self, your highest potential, and just so you can feel great, so you can feel energetic, so that you can do the things that, again, that bring you joy. So I will pause there. And then if anyone has any questions, feel free to email me. You can contact me at hello@acheloawellness.com. And I would love to stay in touch. And if this is something that you might be feeling called to, definitely reach out. I'm doing some special savings in for the next month. So if that's something that you're feeling called to, definitely let me know. I'm excited. It's going to be a nice, small, intimate group of empowered individuals just like you. But for now, wishing you an incredible rest of your week. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. And if you're celebrating Kwanzaa or another holiday, happy holidays. I will see you before New Year's. So I am not wishing you the Happy New Year celebration yet because we still have work to do. So I will see you here next Wednesday where we will take our goals and then we're going to really empower them to those next steps where we can thrive. All right, everybody, wishing you an incredible rest of your week. I will see you so soon. Take care.